Hello everyone, Giltar here with a model kit review. This time we're looking at the 1 to 144 scale, high-grade 00 Gundam 7 Sword G. This will be a two-part review where in part 1 I'll cover the model kit details, articulation, and accessories. In part 2 I'll cover the pros and cons and my final thoughts. Now this is a newly released product. It came out earlier this month being February 2010. Retails for 1,600 yen or between $17 to $18 American. Now it's not an entirely brand new product. It's basically a re-release of the high-grade 00 Gundam model kit with the inclusion of 2 new knee armor pieces and several new weapons. Aside from that, as far as I understand, it is the exact same model kit. So that's a good thing because, first of all, the high-grade 00 Gundam is pretty impressive in my opinion. It's very well known for Gundam fans that the high-grade 00 is an extremely posable and articulate not action figure, but model kit, but it's essentially like an action figure. Now, I won't be posing, or rather getting into different points of articulation and going through a walkthrough as I normally would, for two main reasons. First of all, the 00 Gundam has been reviewed so many times. If I were to go through a walkthrough for the points of articulation, it would be redundant. It's been done so many times before. I just don't feel that it's necessary to do it yet once again. And secondly, that contorted pose I showed just a moment ago, I think demonstrates perfectly the range of articulation that this model is capable of. So I don't think it's necessary to go through a point-by-point articulation walkthrough for this well-known model kit. Now the 00 Gundam right here is pretty straightforward. It essentially looks like your standard 00 Gundam high-grade kit. The difference is that these knee components are new. The original white knee components are included. They're still on the runner. I haven't taken them off. So if you want to use them, you can actually do so. And you also get the GN Swords 2, these blades, to use instead of the new ones if you choose to do so. Aside from that, that's the 00 Gundam body. Now I haven't applied any panel lining or extra paint or stickers. The only one part though I did add some paint would be the clear plastic piece for the forehead jewel. I painted it with a clear red Tamiya paint. Aside from that though, this is a naked build. I haven't even applied the GN condenser lenses because I'm going to hold off until I have all the model painted before applying the stickers and then the lenses. Now, for those who don't know, it does come with a foil sticker sheet. These are the GN condenser stickers. You just put them underneath those parts and then put the lens over it, and it has a really nice visual effect. And I actually do like these stickers. They have some really nice detailing. Here are some yellow bits for the top V-fins, a yellow, or rather red piece for underneath the jewel if you don't want to paint it, stickers for the eyes, and some gray pieces for the rest of the model. Now let's get into the accessories. First of all, let's get to the GN Sword 2 blaster, which I really like. It's a big, imposing weapon. It's about as tall as a 00 here. And I think it's a nice little sort of riff on the sort of standard GN Sword 1 through 3 that the Exia and 00 used previously, where they were primarily a large blade with a secondary ranged component. This one's primarily a ranged weapon with a secondary bladed component, which I think is quite nice. And these bits of clear green plastic come molded that way, so you don't have to paint them if you don't want to. Now, there are two ways that the instruction manual shows that you pose this GN Sword 2 blaster, either as a rifle, or basically a ranged weapon, or as a part that's holstered on the GN wing binder there on the shoulder. Now, I figured that you could also use this as a melee weapon, and you can slide the handle into the hand there. I'll just take it off camera to do so. And I don't know, like I don't know why, like is it supposed to be, not held like this, but I mean, it looks pretty good to me as a held like sword melee weapon. So there you go, that's option number 3. That's not in the instruction booklet. Now, to get it into sort of a rifle mode, first I'm going to have you guys take note of the ports on the back of the forearms. There's one for each forearm, and they're rectangular. Now, in the bottom section of the GN Sword 2 blaster, there's a rectangular peg. So what you first do is put the grip through the hand, and then just move the peg on the bottom to the back, and you should be able to basically secure it and give this weapon a very tight hold in the hand of the 00. And as you can see, I'm shaking it around, it's not moving anywhere. And another great thing about the model is that the elbow and shoulder joints are very tight, so I'm pleasantly surprised by that. So you can hold it as a rifle and look all intimidating. And the final sort of way to display it, according to the instructions, is that you just fold down the stock and the grip or the handle so that they're kind of horizontal. And if you look at the side here, there's a rectangular peg that goes into a rectangular port on the GN drive binder at the shoulder here. So I'll just put it in. And there we go. So it kind of has a winged appearance on the shoulder. Now the second weapon I want to show is the GN Buster Sword 2, which is quite a large weapon. Right now it's in one of its forms. It's in the GN Buster Sword shield mode. And how you pose this is that you basically, again, take note of this rectangular peg because it will fit into the back of the forearm. What you'll do is you just turn the hand like that, put the handle through the hand here, and then peg it into the back of the forearm. And this is sort of, I guess, the GN shield mode, and it's one huge shield, I guess. Now another way to display it is as a sword. So you just flip the handle down, and then you collapse a few parts. So you just put the blade in, and these parts, these blue parts on the side, can actually be removed. And there are two sets of grooves here on this sort of inner frame piece. The shallower groove gives it the appearance when you connect it like it's extended, and the deeper groove, when you put it on, makes the parts flush to the sword like that. So I'll just take this other one off here and reattach it. So here you go. Now you collapse the handle a bit and then move up these crossguard pieces, and then you have the GN Buster Sword. Now the one problem with the model kit is that the wrists are loose. They don't hold things very well. Despite the strength in the elbows and shoulders, the wrist connections are quite loose. But it's not a serious problem, because with bending of the elbow and shoulders, you can get the sword to be posed in a pretty decent manner, though it looks kind of odd with the wrist kind of bent like that. To be honest, I just like having this on the shoulder. Now, how do you pose it on the GN drive binder there? You just collapse the hilt cross pieces and extend the handle. So you're exposing the circular part, and if you see a secondary peg up here, that goes right into the GN binder at the shoulder, like so. So you've got two huge weapons secured on each binder, and that's not too bad. I know a lot of people don't like the look of these huge oversized weapons, but I think when they're together they balance things out, not only physically by balancing the model kit, but also visually. You have two big components, and it kind of, again, gives it a winged appearance. Now the next weapons up would be GN Katars. These are the Katar-like weapons. Like the GN Sword 2 blaster, it has clear green plastic effect parts. And this is in its sort of storage mode. So you have a circular port with a circular peg. And I'll take off this part because it's in the way. But I'll just attach it here. And it's very, very nice. I mean, they're nice big weapons. They look pretty intimidating, and when you put them on the legs, it does kind of, visually speaking, when you have the GN Sword 2 blaster up here and the GN Buster Sword 2 up there, it looks kind of top heavy. So by having these GN Katars on the lower legs, you sort of bulk up the lower body, and again, you're adding more visual balance. Now another way to use a GN Katar is simply to extend the handles, these gray plastic bits. And all you do is just take off the back plate of a hand, put the handle in, put the back plate back on, and you can wield either GN Katar or both of them if you want. Or you can just collapse the handle and peg it on to the knee armor, like so. Next up are the GN Swords 2 Long and Short. Right here. Very nice. They do resemble the GN Sword 2 in that, you know, they're the same type of weapon, except visually one's shorter, one's longer. They both taper off to more of a fine point. Now this is the GN Sword 2 long in its sword form. To make it into a rifle, first you remove the sort of blade barrel bit and peg it back on. And actually, if you take a look here, the port here is not only circular, but it has grooves on the sides, so that you can actually connect it in a certain way so that it doesn't slide or turn. It's very secure. Now you just flip down the handguard and separate the grip here to make a stock and a handle, like so. And there's also a side handle or a side grip for the GN Sword 2 Long. The GN Sword 2 Short is the same thing. It's basically you can move things around and make it into like a little pistol. But another function of this is that you can remove the tip of the blade and attach a flexible piece of wire that's encased in rubber sheathing. And there's a white adapter piece on the top, and you just clip the tip of the GN Sword 2 Short to it, which I'll do here off camera. And then we have a weapon that looks like it's shooting off the tip of the sword, which is pretty neat. It's great for posing and display. And actually, we're running short on time here, so this will conclude part 1. I'll be back in part 2 with just one final look at another piece of accessory, and then I'll go into the pros and cons and my final thoughts. Thanks for watching.